we're going to have a virtual tour of 14 of my paintings. I paint family members and friends who have served their country from World War I through to present. And these started with a tribute to my husband who was in Vietnam. The first of these paintings is my grandfather, who served in World War I in the Argonne Forest in Europe. The second painting is of my father, who served in World War II as a fighter pilot in a P-38. During his time in Europe, he was shot down and he was a POW at Stalag Luft 3. Some of you may remember this from a famous movie that was made in 1963 called The Great Escape. During the time my father was there is another painting that I'm featuring called Tuskegee Airmen. What many people don't know is that this painting of Alexander Jefferson was a Tuskegee Airman that also was in the POW camp with my dad, along with 12 other Tuskegee Airmen. There's another painting here of World War II featuring Dolph Dumont. Dolph was too young for World War II, but at the end of the war, he enlisted in the Navy, and he is featured here with the memorial to the Arizona, because when he got in as a young 18-year-old, he served as a diver, taking care of wreckage that was in the bottom of the Pearl Harbor where the Arizona was, so they could still get ships into the area. So he cleared that. The next painting is of my dad. My dad got out of the military, but in the late 40s, he went back into the reserves. He really missed flying. He was very good at it, and he liked doing it. He was in college at the time. He had married. He had met and married my mother. I had been born. The Korean conflict broke out and changed my life as well as my mother's, because this was when my father became a military career man. When he served for Korea and the Cold War and Vietnam. This painting is of my dad in an F-84 when he served with the Strategic Air Command. Most of his career was with the Strategic Air Command. Now we go into Vietnam, which is a tribute to my husband. My husband was drafted, and he went to Vietnam in 1968 and got there. He had served, once he was drafted, he decided to sign up with the Marines, and he got there just in time for Tet, and he served in, this painting is entitled Leaving Plum Trees to See Light, and the other one is Marine 1968. This next painting is of my cousin, who after 9/11, he signed up as a young man of 18 to serve in the Navy. Today, he is an officer and in charge of SEAL Team 4. The next soldier I'm going to talk about is my nephew, who was a happy accountant living with his family in Houston, Texas. But he had signed up for the reserves to make a little extra money on the weekends. And like my dad, his unit was called up. So he served in Iraq. I have several paintings here dedicated to him. This first one is called Soldiers. This next one is called Point. This one is called Army Soldier. And the last one is Readiness. My last two paintings are a tribute to things that are going on today. In 2012 and 2013, my husband and I attended my father's Stalag Luft 3 reunion. It had started actually in the early 50s. My father passed away in 1990, so when we attended these, there were a lot of men that had written books, and a lot of information was going out. I did this painting called World War II POWs to tribute to these old men. These had been young men in World War II. Today they are featured in this painting as old men. In a story that not many people knew, that they had been held in a concentration camp, Buchenwald, before they were released and sent to a POW camp. This last painting is when my husband and I went to Fort Lauderdale Airport And there were 6,000 people that showed up to welcome the World War II veterans back from their flight to Washington, D.C. to see the World War II memorial. They call them honor flights. I am honored today to present this list of paintings.